Deaf woman struggled to order coffee, until a single dad signed something that made her glow. The morning rush at Maple and Bean Café was louder than usual, milk steamers hissing, baristas shouting names, customers bumping past each other with impatient sighs. Amid all the noise stood a young woman clutching a small notepad to her chest. Her name was Lena. She wasn't nervous because of the crowd, she was used to that. She was nervous because the barista kept asking her something she couldn't hear, and she'd already pointed 3 times to her written order on the notepad. "Ma'am," the barista raised his voice, "hot or iced?" Lena blinked, confused. His lips moved too quickly. She tried reading them, but the angles, the fast pace, the frustration in his expression, it all blurred. She shook her head, tapped the notepad again, trying to gesture. "I don't know what you want." The barista groaned. A few customers in line sighed. Someone muttered, "Come on, some of us need to get to work." Lena's fingers trembled. She scribbled on her notepad, "I'm deaf. Please be patient." She turned the page toward the barista. He sighed again but leaned forward, trying to make sense of her handwriting. But at that moment, a little girl holding a stuffed penguin squeezed her way past her father and tugged on his sleeve. "Daddy, she needs help." The father looked up from his phone. His name was Noah, a single dad of 3 years and a man who had grown used to multitasking, parenthood on one shoulder and life's challenges on the other. But when his daughter pointed toward Lena, he immediately pocketed his phone. "What's wrong, baby?" he whispered. "She's like Auntie Kara," the little girl said proudly. "She signs." Noah followed his daughter's gaze. He saw the trembling hands, the anxious eyes, the notepad worn from too much explaining. And instinct took over. He stepped out of the line and approached Lena with a gentle smile. She looked startled, her breath catching as she clutched the notepad tighter, expecting another impatient gesture. But instead, Noah raised his hands and signed, slowly, clearly. "Hi, can I help?" Lena's eyes widened. Relief washed through her shoulders, soft and warm like sunlight breaking through clouds. "You sign," she responded, her fingers moving with a grace that made Noah smile. "A little," he signed back. "My sister is deaf." The barista's expression shifted instantly, embarrassment coloring his cheeks. "Please just ask her if she wants it hot or iced," he said quietly. Noah turned, then signed to Lena. "He wants to know, hot drink or iced?" "Hot, please," she signed, her movements grateful but shy. Noah relayed the message. The barista quickly tapped in the order. "Name," Noah signed. "Your name." She hesitated, then spelled, Lena. When he repeated it to the barista, the man scribbled it down with a muted apology. The little girl tugged Noah's sleeve again. "Daddy, can I tell her my name?" She signed clumsily. He nodded. The little girl stepped forward and signed, mixing small mistakes with bursts of enthusiasm. "Hi, I'm Molly. I like penguins." Lena laughed silently, a soft breathy sound escaping her. She crouched down to the girl's eye level and signed back with tender patience. "Nice to meet you. Your signing is very good." Molly beamed so brightly she could have powered the entire cafe. They all moved aside to wait for their drinks, and for the first time that morning, Lena felt something she hadn't felt in months, calm. Noah leaned against the counter, watching her out of the corner of his eye, not staring, just making sure she wasn't overwhelmed again. After a quiet moment, he signed. "You come here often?" She shook her head. "First time. New in town." "Welcome," he signed with a warm grin. "We're glad you're here." Lena felt heat rise to her cheeks. She wasn't used to strangers signing so kindly. Most people spoke slower or louder, thinking it helped. Few ever learned the language she depended on. Even fewer cared. The barista called out, "Lena." She didn't react, but Noah did. He gently touched her elbow and nodded toward the counter. "Your drink." Her cheeks pinked in embarrassment. But he wasn't making fun of her, not even close. His expression was soft, understanding. She grabbed the cup and wrote a quick note on her notepad before offering it to him. "Thank you. You didn't have to help me." Noah shook his head, then signed. "Everyone needs help sometimes. I'm glad I was here." She smiled, a real one this time, bright enough that he noticed even in the dim cafe lighting. Molly tugged her father again. "Daddy, can we be her friends?" She signed with all the seriousness of a courtroom judge. Noah chuckled. "We can ask." He turned back to Lena. "Would you like to sit with us?" He signed, though he hesitated, hoping he wasn't overstepping. Lena's eyes flickered with surprise, then something softer. She looked at the crowded cafe, the noisy tables, the handful of impatient customers still staring at her. Then she looked at Noah, at Molly, at the small, safe space they offered without saying a word. She nodded. They found a table by the window. Molly proudly taught Lena the name of her penguin, Peep Peep, while Noah explained, in slow steady signs, how he learned ASL at 13 for his sister. Lena listened with fascination. You sign very well, she signed. He shook his head modestly. Still learning. You're doing amazing, she insisted. For the first time in a long while, she didn't feel like a burden. She felt seen, truly seen. With gentle courage, she signed. Thank you for helping me earlier. People usually get annoyed. Noah's expression softened, almost saddened. They shouldn't, he signed. Communication doesn't have to be hard if people try. Molly climbed onto Lena's lap as if they'd known each other forever, showing her how Peep Peep drinks coffee. Lena laughed silently again, something Noah realized he liked hearing. When their cups were empty, and the cafe bustle began to fade, Noah signed. If you ever want company, or help ordering again, we come here every morning. Then he scratched the back of his neck, a little awkwardly. And maybe, we could talk more. I mean, sign more. Lena bit her lip, a soft glow warming her features. I'd like that. Before she left, Molly wrapped her in a tight hug. Noah watched Lena step out of the cafe with a lighter stride, the morning sun catching her smile. She had struggled to order coffee that morning. But she walked away holding something far sweeter. A connection, unexpected and gentle. And the memory of a single dad signing just the right words, exactly when she needed them most.